having fun.
Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you worried about prepping for the future? Maybe you've been thinking food is too expensive, maybe it's too late, maybe you can't afford it. And that is a reality. It's becoming more and more expensive. But if we don't scrape together a little bit of money today, what are we going to do in the future if we still don't have any money, but food costs even more? So that's one of the reasons why it's important to buy some extra food today. We can see the prices are going up, and if we stockpile a little bit of food at a time, over time it becomes a substantial amount of food, and you would be pleasantly surprised on how many meals you can make out of that food if you plan it strategically.
What are the cheapest foods you can buy for your food storage stockpile? The first cheap food that can last the longest is rice.
I started with a 5-pound bag of rice. It has 115 servings of rice for a total of 8,000 calories.
Next, look for beans. You can find all kinds of different beans, all different colors, different varieties. You can find them in a 1-pound bag, 2-pound bag, all the way up to sometimes a 50-pound bag. Buy a variety of beans, different sizes, so that you have variety in your cheap, long-lasting foods.
This was the only other beans that came in a 2-pound bag. All of the other beans came in a 1-pound bag, except you could get giant bags of pinto beans, but this was the only one that I could find in a 2-pound bag, and it was a much better deal than buying a 1-pound bag. It was a much better price per pound. The 2-pound bag of black beans has 26 servings for 2,600 calories. So you can start combining your rice and beans, and not only are you getting all of the amino acids that you want, you're also getting a great combination of carbs and protein. Next, I bought a bag of Great Northern beans. It's nice to have a different variety. This has 13 servings for 1,300 calories. Now, the Great Northern beans were a little more expensive than some of the other beans that they had where I went shopping in Alaska at Walmart. Next, I bought a bag of pinto beans. This also has 13 servings for 1,300 calories. Pinto beans are something you can find in a much bigger bag for more dollars, of course, but a better price per pound. Next, I bought a bag of lentils. The lentils also have 13 servings, and the calorie count is 1,430 calories. Lentils are a nice option because they're still in the legume family, but compared to the other beans, they're going to cook much faster. You only need 30 minutes perhaps, 30 or 40 minutes to cook lentils, and they're loaded with protein, and they're going to give you a nice variety from your other beans that you have in your food storage and your prepper pantry stockpile.
The next cheap, long-lasting food is pasta.
Food storage guidelines recommend storing 21 pounds of pasta per year. If you figure 1 pound of uncooked pasta equals 4 servings, if you just wanted to have spaghetti once a week for a whole year, for a family of 4, you would need 52 pounds of spaghetti noodles. It isn't just spaghetti that's pasta. What about mac and cheese, fettuccine alfredo, lasagna, ravioli, pasta salads, noodles and soups, tuna casseroles? If you enjoy eating pasta, make it a priority that you have enough, and whatever the toppings and condiments that go with it. Let's discuss the shelf life of oatmeal. Oats can last nearly forever as long as you store them in an airtight container in a cool, dark, and dry environment. I usually buy the old-fashioned oats. These are the same as what they call rolled oats. In fact, this 2-pound, 10-ounce package of old-fashioned oats has 30 servings of a half of a cup each. Just this one package of oatmeal could actually make breakfast for 30 days. Isn't that an inexpensive way to have some food on hand? Almost everyone has some kind of seasonings in their pantry, and that can help make these foods taste better and more delicious. So if you don't have any kind of seasonings or you're running low, pay attention to what spices and seasonings you use most often, and try to pick up a few extras so that you have those to go with your basic cooking. Get other foods. You can grow some. Maybe you can forage for some. Maybe you can get some from a food bank, or over time you can add a few other canned and packaged items into your Prepper Pantry food storage stockpile, and then you'll be able to make bigger meals, stretch these foods out to last longer, and feel more confident about what you're doing. It's not quite enough to just bring these 5 foods home and put them away in your pantry. You want to seal them up the best you can so that they're going to last the longest. Foods need to be stored in a cool, dark, dry place in an airtight container. So what are some choices that you have? You could put some of these foods into a clean, empty jar and put the lid on tight. It doesn't have to be a brand new jar. It can be a jar that you recycle out of other foods that you have on hand. Clean those jars well. The hardest thing sometimes is getting the odors out of the lid. Try soaking them in vinegar, put them through the dishwasher a few times, and eventually a lot of those foods you can get the scent and the aromas out of the lids. Maybe when you go to the store, go over to the bakery department, ask them for an empty bucket. They many times will give them to you, but not always, and make sure that you ask politely. And I was able to get this smaller size bucket that I can put these foods into the bucket. This is a nice tight-fitting lid, and it has a rubber gasket that's going to help keep the air out. While it's great if you have Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers to help these last longer, it's not necessary for you to buy these foods and put them away the best you can. Then if you have options of better ways to store it in the future, you can always do that. But remember, the point is to get some food and store it the best you can while you can, and then you'll have that extra food and the time to figure out what you would like to do next. Another option, look in your cupboards and closets. Maybe you have a plastic bin with a tight-fitting lid, don't need the things that are in it anymore, and you can repurpose that plastic container. You can load it up with your beans and rice, put on the lid, close it up, and no, it's not the most airtight container, but it's certainly going to be better than just a bag on the shelf. Look over the things you have. Be creative. Try to find hard-sided containers with tight-fitting lids and fill them up with some of your extra food. You can store things in the back of a closet, under your bed, in an empty cabinet, but just try to keep track of where you put things. That's one of my problems is I don't have a big house, and so I don't have one of those giant pantries, and I end up stashing things away in unusual places, and sometimes they get lost in the shuffle and I don't quite remember where everything is. That's one of the challenges of being a prepper. So when we look at some of the news, it's so gloom and doom. And sometimes we let that get into our heart and we feel like we are defeated. You can't do that. Don't destroy your own hope for the future and suck the energy out of yourself with negative thoughts. Figure out, how can I plan for the future so that I'll be able to take care of myself and make the best out of each day? We want to enjoy the life that we have. We don't want to crush our own dreams. We want to take care of ourselves and go forward trying to make each day the best we can. That's why I'm a prepper. I want every day to be the best. I'm not looking forward to gloom and doom, and I don't want to focus on those things. I want to look forward that I'm going to be okay because I'm preparing the way to smooth it out. Is food storage, is lifestyle insurance, so that I'll have the things I need no matter what happens. I hope you'll take this to heart. Get some extra food, put it away for the future. I hope you'll like my video, that you will share my video with someone else you think might enjoy it, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.